Well, hello, and welcome to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, episode 751, and the season opening for our 2025 season. Listen, we are getting it started hot and heavy already right here for this year. We're super excited because we have back by popular demand one of our guests that you have seen before, you have heard before. Dr. Stevie Mills is with us, and our topic is click to cash. This is for my business owners, my entrepreneurs, my multi-preneurs, my full-time workers who have a side gig. It's all for you. We're going to get right into it. Don't you move. You're here on the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show. We'll get started.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Charvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Charvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone. I am so excited to have you joining us here live. Those of you that are watching us on various video platforms, we are super excited to have you. Certainly those that check out the podcast version, Apple and iHeartRadio and Spotify, and brand new, hot off the press, Amazon Music. You can check us out on Amazon Music as well. So we're on a few different platforms. I do want to acknowledge, and I do want to let you know that this show started locally in Richmond, Virginia. And I see you all coming on in. I see all of the studio lighting up. This show started here locally in Richmond, Virginia, at what was then Rejoice 1540 AM radio. I transitioned to Blog Talk Radio March 2008. Guess what? Blog Talk Radio is closing its doors, hanging up its shingle the end of this month. And so shout out to all of those who this might be, one of the last episodes and segments that you hear on Blog Talk Radio. It has been phenomenal. Blog Talk Radio certainly was one of the forerunners in the live experience. And so we are excited that we had that run there. But we are also excited about the new platforms that we're on. We are on Buzzsprout now, is fully our host for our podcast. And so the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show will continue. But again, thank you to all those who became to know about us because of Blog Talk Radio. All right. So if you are here live, let us know in the chat. Listen, if you come back later and you're like, hey, I'm coming back later, I'm on charvette.com, I'm on YouTube. Listen, shout out to family and all that's hanging out over on YouTube, Deborah and Kim and Roberto and Marilyn and Joe. Thank you. Listen, my mom is going to always be in the house. Hey, girl. Hey, welcome. Hello, Karen Mills. Thank you. Good evening. Glad to see you. Awesome. And so let's get the party going and let's get the party started here. Let me introduce my guest who is waiting in the virtual green room to come up here to the mic with our segment, Click to Cash. All right. There we go. So we are going to be talking to Dr. Stevii Mills. She empowers career-driven Christian women to increase their income and impact by leveraging their expertise and God-given gifts. As a seasoned marketer, entrepreneur, and author, she blends faith, purpose, and strategy to help women live the life they love while rocking their it factor to the fullest. With 25 years of experience and features on platforms like BET, CBS, Fox, and ABC, Dr. Stevii inspires others to embrace their power and purpose to create meaningful, abundant success. Again, you're here on episode 751 of the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, and our topic is Click to Cash, and this is our 2025 season opening. Put your hands together, clap it up as we welcome Dr. Stevii up to the virtual stage. Woohoo, Dr.
Yes.
Stevii! Yay! Listen. We gotta give you some claps. Like, clap it up, audience. I see you. Clap it up there. I see you. Listen. Wait. Yeah, we got it. All right, there we go. Oh gosh, our producer was a little slow on that, i.e. me. So we are so excited to have you here and back by popular demand because the it factor, we talked about that way back when you were, a part of the program. And I don't know, at that point, it's been a while ago. So shout out to Blog Talk Radio again. That I don't know if you ever done anything with Blog Talk Radio other than being interviewed. Yeah.
I started my podcast back how many years? I started my podcast in 2010. So yeah, it was definitely on Blog Talk. So I was sad when I heard that it was going to go away.
Yeah. A lot of things going on. Hey, Ms. Boatwright. Thank you. All right. Hello, Yolanda. So let's jump right on in this, which I think this is a really a great conversation. Hey, girl. Hey, around pivot and just always thinking about your business, like what is today might not be what is tomorrow, what's down the road. And so before we jump into all of that, how did this entrepreneur and marketing and author journey start for you?
Ooh, child.
All right, go way back.
Yes, first off, I have to thank you because you were in the very beginning of my journey. You really were. I started out entrepreneurially with the Beauty from Head to Toe tour, and I was a young in business, and I had no clue about what was going to happen in this whole thing called business. And you took a chance on me, and so here we are. That's literally how I started with the multi-city tour. You were one of my people who said, I'm going to interview you. And that was, since then, that was before I even wrote my first book. Now I have 30. That was before anything. So
wait, you have 30 books? Look, yes, you all listeners, do you all see she just glided on top of that? She just glided over that. So yes, drop the receipts, drop the numbers. And so here we are now. And so what has kind of kept your journey going?
The Lord, for one. The Lord. Yeah. And really, Click to Cash Now is a book for me and is a trademark for me, but literally it is my life's work and journey because that is how I live my life, right? Mm-hmm. So I believe that no matter whatever job I've ever had or no matter what income stream I ever wanted to cultivate, Click to Cash is what it is. Because just like the TikTok thing that we just went through, right? And so we had to know how to click the cash. We had to know, because if not, if you're just relying on a platform, then you would have been stuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, for those that are, saying, hey, I'm trying to figure out, like, how do I get people to click? And then that click equals cash. Sometimes people are really caught up on the likes and the numbers, and we do know there's statistics in that. But when people are really kind of caught up on the likes and like, I just want to know like how many people like this or how many people viewed it. What do you say to that person who's caught up really on the vanity, as we would say, metrics?
If that like is not turning into a client or a lead for you, if you're not doing the due diligence to follow up, one of my great coaches, Taria Vision Avant, she always says, either you're getting coins or contacts. And so with that, you either are getting a coin or a contact through the social media channel. So if you're not following up with the people who are liking, then it's just a like. It's not going to go any further than that page. But if you follow up with that person, especially the people who are dropping love and all the comments and all the things, that means that they're highly interested in the content you're putting out there, your work, your information.
Great. And so the Click to Cash book, which again is really your brand now. So when you see that, I know when I see I think of Dr. Stevie. And so, so when you first started to put the book together, what were the things that you wanted like readers to walk away with?
The first thing when I wrote this book in a weekend. So if y'all never seen it, here it goes. Click that cash. I wrote the book in a weekend. And for me, it was during the midst of the pandemic. And so me going from different points in my life at the point where I had just made six figures on the journey of six figures in 2020, after in 2016 being evicted from my home because I could not figure out how to make $800 in a month, to now being able to make six figures in I think about 9 months. Right. I was like, I need more people to take this information and to run with it, no matter if they want to make more money, if they need some money, whatever their story is. And that's how the book literally came together.
And so thank you. Like, certainly people don't always share transparency, like that, and your personal story and journey of how you got there. And so is there a framework? Are there a few key things that you address with people? Of course, we want them to get the book, but a few key things that you maybe address with people in Click to Cash.
Yeah, so Click to Cash, we always think about the 7 streams of income, right? We've heard that. We need 7 streams, da. But in Click to Cash, I do believe that everybody has a God-given it factor. That it factor was my first book. And so in this book, it talks about how you can take that information and create an ebook or a membership or a digital class from what you already know. And so a lot of times, specifically, career-driven people leave their minds at work. They don't feel like they can maximize their own business with what they get paid for each and every day. So my whole mission is to take that same information, not make it hard for anybody, but make it monetizable for everybody.
Because your skills are transferable. I'm always saying that. And a lot of times people feel like there's a this or that or either or, like my corporate or whatever, they're doing for a job, whatever my side thing is, it's separated and they don't touch, when actually you ought to bring over any skill sets that you have, certainly from a day job. And, for those that are career driven, how do they, balance and try to even figure out the direction they should go in?
I think the first thing is to figure out if you want to be a full-time entrepreneur, if you want to be a part-time entrepreneur, if you want to be a parallelpreneur like myself. I work a full-time job, which is really why I started honing in on the fact of having career and having a side business, because I was doing it myself. And I realized that for me, what I was doing in my job can easily still be the same thing I do in my business, but you just have to navigate that first off, because some people want to leave their job, some people want to stay in, but at the same time, it's like nothing is promised. Just like going back to the social media platforms, that platform shut down quickly. We had some warning, but people were in the midst of their live streams, different things, and the lights went out. So you have to have something to back it up. You have to have leveraged the platform in order to go there. So I think the first thing is the decision. The second thing is really looking at your skill set and your expertise and your interests. And then the third thing is to figure out how you want to monetize it. What vehicle do you want to put your information into?
All right. And I'm wondering, sometimes people will have an interest in the area, but their skill set is in another area. Ooh, what do you say to that person?
I think that you have to choose. Like, I do think it's an individual thing, because that's almost like the college student, right? Who wanted to be an artist, but their parents wanted them to be a doctor. After a particular age and stage, we get to make certain choices. Now, some things are more lucrative than others. You may have to put in some different work, but understanding that your end goal is to make money, you just may have to get with somebody who's going to tell you this is going to take a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, I do believe that people have choices, and I do believe that anything you want to do and you can stick your mind to doing it and you can put in the work to do it, you can make it happen. All
right. And so in Click to Cash, where can people pick up a copy of it?
Just by knowing how to spell my first name correctly, you can go to Stevii.com, Stevii, and the I's in my name stand for increasing income. You could go over there at Stevii.com and you can get it.
All right, there you go. And those that are listening to the podcast, just look down below in the show notes. Those are on YouTube. Look down below in the show notes. And those that are on Sharvette.com, look down below in the blog post. And so the Click to Cash book happened, but then it was like a movement, or like, did it take a life of its own, after you put the book out?
It did. It did. It is definitely something I say is my legacy work. It is something that I believe that for the rest of my life, I will always be talking about this. Thank you, Wendy. And shout out to my mama too. I know you said your mom was here. My mom
was here too. Listen, the moms are here.
So, but I do believe that it is the place where I am going to hang my hat. I want to be able to help people to make money from using their gift, skills, talents, and abilities. I think sometimes people make building a business way too hard, and we don't have to. It doesn't have to be as hard as people make it to be.
Oh, right. And for some of your clients, what would you say are the things that your clients are making money from now? And I preface that with saying people are feeling like there is a difference in the market depending on what industry they're in. What are some of the things that your clients are taking their intellectual property, their expertise, and turning and it clicking and it's turning into cash?
Definitely. Ebooks are hot right now. Coaching is always going to be hot. Somebody's going to always want you to teach them something. So digital classes are hot. I think all of those three things together, of course, virtual speaking engagements, believe it or not, people get paid to hear you talk virtually.
Yeah.
The world may now be open, but people have fallen in love with virtual events too. So they'll hire you to be a speaker for that. So I think what I did was to go through all the 7 different chapters, which are strategies, but to do that myself. And that's why I tell people, I think it's according to their personality, their makeup. Like some people are not going to want to do certain activities, but at the end of the day, they can find one strategy in the book and really rock with it.
Oh, that's brilliant because some people are talkers. So the speaking or doing a webinar or, might be something that they lean to, but then other people are writers. And so then the ebook feels more comfortable and feels more aligned with what they would be able to produce. So I think that that's really brilliant to give people that guidance of going in the direction and the flow of where you naturally kind of gravitate to. And, there are people who a lot of people identify as introvert, Dr. Stevie. And so what do you say to introverts who are like, I want them to click and it turn into cash, but I'm scared of coming out front. I'm scared of talking about my business. What do you say to introverts?
I love introverts. Believe it or not, most of my clients are introverts. Believe it or not, because at the heart of who I am, this cash thing came a little bit later, but most of my background was in marketing and PR. So I was a visibility coach. And so a lot of people who are introverted, they do say that they don't know how to get visible. And so we just start with the higher purpose. Like, what is it that you staying stagnant and staying silent? Whose life is in the balance of that? And that helps them to reframe, and it helps them to understand that, yes, we are introverted, but most of the highest paid speakers are introverts. Beyonce is an introvert. And she just channels into her Sasha Fierce, and she's able to do what she needs to do and then go back into being introverted.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Well, people are watching. How can they follow you and connect with you all across social media?
Again, Stevie, if you spell Stevie correctly, you got me. You got me, but definitely go to stevie.com because I have an absolutely complimentary masterclass there too. And in this crazy world of social media, shutting down, shutting open, all the things, my website will always be there.
Yes. And it is so important to have own your own space on the web. As I alluded to, as we opened up with starting on Blog Talk Radio in 2008, and now Blog Talk Radio is like hanging up their hat because things do have a shelf life. There are situations where things have a shelf life, but you always want to own your own real estate. And so shout out, thank you, Miss Blake, for being here, jumping on in. Hello. And so yay, hey, Ray. And so I love also that you mix or you blend faith, purpose, and strategy. And so certainly faith-based entrepreneurs are probably going to be more drawn to you in that space. And sometimes people kind of struggle, like, is faith, do I involve faith? Do I not involve faith? How do you, talk to people about the blending?
It was a clear distinction for me back when I was running ads, right? Because I wanted to be able to help everybody. That's what we want to help.
Yeah.
But the more you help everybody, the more your ads are going to cost. So I was with the coach then, and she was like, listen, do you want to save some money? We got to target the people. And I realized that even before I was saying I was a coach for Christian women, I was praying. And prayer is a large part of what I do. So for me, it became more comfortable to be able to say, look, this is who I am. This is who I rock with. And we're going to pray, because at the end of the day, yes, I know strategy, but whatever God is telling you, we need to partner with that, because if not, then the strategy I give you is going to be out of place.
Listen, you just said something right there. Oh my God. We have to come in partnership with what he's saying. Woo, we trying to come in partnership with a lot of stuff and all of that. And as a coach, give strategy and give however, we have to come in alignment, but more importantly, partnership with what he's saying for you and your business. That is powerful. And then sometimes we feel like, oh, it's just gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. And there might be listeners, Dr. Stevie, saying, well, they're not clicking. I mean, I don't understand. You got people that's clicking the cash. I don't have people that's clicking the cash. Is that a mindset? Is that a strategy thing? Is that a faith thing? Is it all of them?
Definitely all of them, I think, because here's the thing, right? I used to give my clients, and I learned this way back in network marketing, right? Mm-hmm. I used to give my clients the fact of 100 no's assignment. Go ahead and get you 100 no's from different people. And the quicker you get those 100 no's is the quicker you get through the assignment. And I think people just don't ask enough people to buy from them, because we don't like rejection. So therefore, we're going to keep asking people until it hurts, right? But the moment it hurts is the moment you're going to stop asking. So if we're not quantifying the numbers, then we don't know how many people we've asked. We're saying that these people said no, and it could be 3-4 people. It just depends on where you are with your confidence. I do believe that confidence is directly tied to your cash. So therefore, if you're not having confidence, but you're saying somebody's not clicking to your cash, then we got to look at the numbers. And it's funny because I'm like, y'all, listen, this is the Holy Ghost when I start talking about numbers, because I didn't do well in math, nor look, I went to A&T and I kind of failed math about 3-4 times. I was getting on the help in the prayer. Listen, I had extra credit up in the math department. So when we start looking at numbers, it's like, woo.
Ooh, listen, Ms. Beck, that jumped at me. That jumped. Let it hit you right there. And so then the question becomes, because I got to go back to that rejection point. You dropping some nuggets, Dr. Stevie. If you just tuning in, you're checking out the Charvette Mental Radio Show. We got Dr. Stevie Mills here with us. All of the platforms you're listening, watching, look down below in the show notes. We got to go back to the core. So if that core of I don't want to be rejected will hinder your marketing, will hinder your visibility, which will then hinder the click to cash. So, and I don't think we talk enough about the rejection factor in entrepreneurship. I don't think we talk enough. So it's one thing if you're the CEO of McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, you don't know if somebody rolled down. I mean, you can overall look at your numbers if the numbers are going up and down, but you don't know necessarily that car drove past the McDonald's and decided to go to Chick-fil-A. But however, those of us that are small business owners, we are closer to our prospects, and we might see, oh, she went with Dr. Stevie, she went with Miss Watermelon and didn't go with my program. And that's like, ooh, that's like a sting. We're close. And I don't think we talk enough about that. So I'm glad you brought that up. Anything you want to say around that?
Yes, because here's the thing, right? So let's take you, for example, because I love you, Charvette. I love you. I've been loving you for many years. And it takes bravery and being courageous to put your brand on something. You have a personal brand, right? So if some people who are not evolved in this area, when we say have a personal brand, right? Then they are being rejected themselves. It's not the brand. So your name is your brand. So therefore, if somebody is rejecting it, they're rejecting that person. If that person is not healed by the Lord, then we have another problem, because then you're going to be shut down. So when somebody says, I want to listen to the Breakfast Club versus the conversation with Stevie or whatever, then it's going to be something that's rejecting Stevie if we're not involved in that area.
Woo, my good. So this is all layered. This is all layered. This is all layered. One more time. I'm saying our time is like flying by. you had an offer there. So when they go to Stevii.com, and those that are listening from the podcast, STEVII.com,
Yes.
what will you find there and what do you have available for them?
Yeah. So when you go there, we definitely want you to share your information with me so that you can access a complimentary masterclass. I have a masterclass waiting on you for visibility, credibility, cash. Again, this math, y'all. I believe that visibility plus credibility equals cash. And
Wow,
so here's the thing, right? The difference a lot of times between Sarah Lee and Sarah at your church is that she does not have enough visibility. Many Christian women, we have the credibility, but nobody knows about us. Sarah at your church might have the best pound cake in the world, better than Sarah Lee, but nobody knows about her. So we have to think about that in ourselves. So that masterclass is going to teach you how to quickly increase your visibility and your credibility so that you can increase your cash.
All right. Again, Stevii.com. And then how can they check you out online? And shout out to Instagram that is piped in with us. Listen, we're in 2 places on Facebook, LinkedIn. Hey, how y'all doing? YouTube, Stitch, Instagram, and a couple other places too. Thank you. Dr. Stevie has brought in her audience as well. And so for all of the listeners and the viewers, how can they connect with you?
Definitely. Again, it goes down to the name. It's funny, but people spell my name all kinds of ways. They have 1 eye, 2 eyes, 1 eye, and even my family members, y'all. So don't feel that. But the biggest thing is if you go to me, I've been hanging out a lot on TikTok. I have. It's my love. But also on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all the places. But seriously, if you go to Stevii.com, you'll never have the opportunity for us to mix. So Stevii.com is the easiest way so that we don't get mixed up, because literally
listen, I get it. And listen, mom is like visibility plus credibility equals cash. And so Miss Blake, yes, I don't know whether I have too much product or not reaching my ideal people, and I've been doing this so long not to be profitable. And so I feel like you are probably not alone, and you are asking the right questions, because it is going to be number one tied definitely to your ideal client. But if you have a lot of products, do they know what is for them? So might be a good time, Miss Blake. And I don't know if you're working with Dr. Stevie or to work with someone like a coach like myself and Dr. Stevie that'll help you drill down and get into that. Any comments you have for this statement?
Yes. Nice to meet you, Miss Carolyn. Yes. So the first thing that popped in my mind was, do we really know who our ideal client is? Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, you could deep dive into marketing, the social graphics and the psychographic. At the end of it, I am somebody who keeps it simple. So that's why I know career-driven Christian women. Now, I believe that God is going to call into those people. So you may be overthinking. That's what my spirit is saying, Ms. Carolyn. I've never met you, but you may be overthinking the process. And in order to get in front of the people, then we have to call those people in specifically, whoever they are, and then just start with one thing. I always tell people to describe your house, right? When you're talking about describe your house, you don't necessarily invite people into all the rooms of your house, but us multi-passionate people, we want to tell you this and this and this and this. But at the end of the day, when you describe your house and you welcome people on into your house, you're telling them one thing. People need simplicity. That's why, again, like Charvette was saying, McDonald's. If you go to McDonald's, they have various numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not all the things. They simplify it for you. And a lot of times we want to give them the razzle dazzle and all the things. But at the end of the day, let's keep it simple. Get your ideal person and just package that to them.
Absolutely. And the customer needs simplicity, and we as business owners need it as well. Thank you for being brave to even state that. And so that was good right there. Wow. Well, our time just flew on by. And so my last question, the goal of the show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we want to know what continues to motivate Dr. Stevie Mills.
Ooh. I know that at the end of the day, I want to leave a legacy. My father passed away in 2022, and I had to take my time to grieve. That was a very, very, very hard thing for me to go through. But at the end of the day, I know that my father left a tremendous legacy. and I want to do the same. So at this point, we're into legacy work and not so much into just closing sales. I want to be able to assist people.
And I'm sure he is proud. Well, thank you so much for stopping by here. Episode 751 of the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We will keep our eye on you.
Thank you, Sharvette. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. All right. This was a good season opening. So many nuggets to drop right there. Thank you again for all those that are watching live and those that are listening later. Welcome to our new platform, Amazon Music. So we're excited that we're on that platform and certainly all of our current platforms. And shout out to Buzzsprout. We're on that platform officially as our podcast. So if you hang out over there and you like listening from Buzzsprout, we are there. And some other platforms that they have added us on. We are kicking up and starting out the 2025 season. And this was a great kickoff. So I'm Sharvette Mitchell, CEO of Mitchell Productions. We are a marketing and professional development firm based out of Richmond, Virginia. We work with entrepreneurs on their marketing, their visibility, and their branding. We also work with corporate clients, government clients on professional development to increase morale and retain more of the best employees that they have. And so that's a little bit about us. You can jump over to sharvette.com, which is our main website for the radio show. So if you were like a binge watcher, or a binge listener, sharvette.com is where you can find all of our episodes and get connected there. And so it's a wrap. Let me thank you so much for everyone being just amazing. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Gwen. Yes, I'm glad. I saw your comment that you just found out that Blog Talk moved. Listen, I highly recommend Buzzsprout. I did try Spreaker, not so much. So talk to me offline. Thank you, Cookie, for being here all the way from New York. Thank you so much, Yolanda. Great show as always. And thank you, Mom. Look, the moms in the house, thank you so much for being here. And shout out to my mom, Betty Mitchell, who's here also. All right, it's a wrap. We'll see you all later. Thanks again, Instagram, for being there. And we're going to see you all later on the web and for our next show. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.